So then, okay, I would like to delve into your own journey into this. Like, from where did you start, and how did you get into this? I'd also like to ask, like, did you find gurus on the way, and who is your guru? How did you learn Sri Vidya? And you're still a practitioner. I'm thinking that, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get into this, and where are you right now, and what is your path that you want to take? Yeah.
In 2003, I was initiated into transcendental meditation.
Okay.
And it was by a British guru.
Okay.
His name is David Aitken, and I consider him my Parama Guru.
Okay.
Because he was the first person to initiate me into the spiritual line, as it were. And my practice was very intermittent because I was very busy with my career and raising a family and all of that. And in 2018, there was a situation in my life where I was grounded in Mysore for about a month. I couldn't move because of certain situations. And that was the time of Dasra in Mysore. Dasra, as you know, is the Nada Habba. And more important than what actually happens in Mysore, for me, it's the way people in and around the vicinity of Mysore actually look up to Chamundi Ma as their, because she's the Grama Devata, right? So their faith in her is tremendous. And it is a Shakti Pitha, Mysore. It's where Sati's hair fell, which many people are not aware. Parts of her body fell across South Asia, all the way from Baluchistan to Sri Lanka.
Right.
So Mysore was the place where her hair fell.
Okay.
So Kamakhya was the place where her yoni fell, which is the most important.
Yeah.
And there is a place in Madhya Pradesh which very few people know called Maihar, where Mata's har, the necklace fell.
Okay.
So there are these various Shakti Pitas. So I was in Mysore and it was the first day of Dasra. And my other guru, who comes in at this point, her name is Chaya. She's been in the spiritual practice for about 30 years. She invited me for what is called the Kunkumarchane. So there is a Mahameru on which they put the Kunkuma. And at that same time, they're chanting the Lalita Sahasranama.
Okay.
So it was the first day of Dasra, and they do it for all 9 days for the Navratri. And the first evening when I went and listened to her chant and do the Kunkumarchane, there was something in me that told me that I know this is familiar, and this is not something new for me. And I think from that day on, my study started. I learned the Lalita Sahasranama fairly quickly, and I learned quite a bit, and suddenly information started coming from various sources. So in 1 month, I already knew the Khadgamala, I knew Trishati. There was just, and until then, I didn't even know such a word as Sri Vidya existed.
Wow, okay.
And I think in a month and a half, a lot of information came to me from various sources. Suddenly, out of the blue, people would say, do you know this? Do you know the connection between Devi and so, and that kind of thing. And I went to Chennai on work because by then I had started in about a month's time. And I was meditating in Mahabalipuram on the beach. And I asked of the universe to show me a sign that I was on the right path. Because this was the first time I was actually venturing into doing anything spiritual. And meditated for an hour and a half, nothing happened. And I said, all right, maybe it's still too early. And I was walking back to my room when a fisherwoman approached me and said, can you buy this coral necklace from me? And it was a small amount, so I said, okay, I'll go to the room and bring the money. When I brought her back the money, she says to me in Tamil, "Nee eludunu," which means you should write. So I asked her, what should I write? She just shrugged her shoulders, and I knew that she had said what she wanted to say. And I went back to the room, and that evening I was reading the Saundarya Lahiri, which spoke about the coral being the most auspicious material to worship the Sri Yantra.
Wow, okay.
And at that time, I didn't know much about the Sri Yantra. And so my study into Sri Yantra started from that point. And it was then that I realized perhaps I should write about the Sri Yantra. So that was my first book, which is titled Sri Chakra Yantra.
So obviously in that, I would probably put it like way the Lalita Sahasranama was the first point.
Yes.
It's like the first door of your entrance into this world, right?
Right.
And then you started getting knowledge from various different sources.
Right.
And then you had given a calling. I mean, it was a call that you should start writing. Now, when it comes to writing, there needs to be a lot of research, right?
Yes.
So from what research material did you find? What scriptures did you refer? Can we?
Praveen, when I look back now at all the 5 books, there are times when people write to me and point out certain things, and I have no clue that I wrote all those things. So in a way, I feel like I have just been a channel. I've just been channeling from somewhere.
Okay.
Yes, of course, I do read a lot. I, do a lot of research and, reference and all of that. But I think somewhere this knowledge is coming to me intuitively.
Nice. Okay. So it's happening. This has happened in as a conversation in multiple podcasts of mine. I call it the cosmic download.
It's that.
It's that is happening to you, and that you're writing those books. Wow,
yes.
That's amazing. That's
right now I'm writing the book on Lalita Sahasranama.
Okay.
And I live in Dubai.
Okay.
And I live on a very high floor there. So, it's a different world. I think of myself as a hermit in a high rise. So, but the reason why I brought up Dubai is this. So I was researching on one particular line which talks about how Devi blesses with her feet. Okay. Because her 4 hands are busy with mudras, right? With all her, she's doing other stuff. And so the blessing of the Devi always comes from her feet.
Okay.
And it says Sinjana Mani Manjira Mandita Shri Padambuja in Lalita Sahasranama. So those lines, they actually talk about the beauty of her anklets, which are encrusted with precious jewels.
Okay.
And that evening, I walk every evening, and on my walk I find an anklet lying on the road in Dubai. What are the chances? In India it would still be, it's okay. I mean, you can find it, but what are the chances?
Right.
So these kind of little, magical things which happen, which enforce my belief, my faith, and make me feel like, okay, I'm on the right path now. Now I don't question the universe.
Okay. So then I'll come to that question that now you had a guide or a guru at that point in time when you started in Mysore. You said her name was Chaya, right?
Yes.
And then you went on to start writing the books and all that. So in between, you didn't find the need to find a guru?
No.
Okay.
My study was completely on my own, and I think every little bit of information that I needed was coming to me. There were times when I would get stuck with questions, but the answer would come. So, for example, at one point of time, there was something which was really racking my brain about Sri Vidya Sadhana, and I happened to go to the Ganapati Sachidananda Ashram in Mysore, where the junior pontiff, the Bal Swamiji, in a regular conversation, he answered my question without even knowing that the question was plaguing me.
Okay.
So it came to me like that. So every single point of time when I knew that there was something which was going to trouble me, the answer came from a source which I didn't expect it from. The only time I did need initiation was when I wanted to chant the Shodashi mantra.
Okay. Because
for that, you need the initiation of a guru. And at that time, I found Guru Karunamaya. So he gave me the initiation into the mantra.
Okay. It's only just about that. About initiation.
Yes.
Because what I see, there are multiple views here.
Right.
There is
and I have a very strong view on this.
Yeah. There are a lot of people that say that you shouldn't practice any of these without a guru. This is one view. There is also the other view that you have, that you don't need a guru because the mother herself is the guru.
Yes.
Right? Now now let me come to the point that we started off with. Like the West and many people even in India misinterpret a lot of things. Like we spoke about the tantric sex and Kundalini and all that. They just gather information from different sources, and then they're just making making that is into a retreat and doing that. This is another view. Now there also, that's the view that you don't know anything about it, you don't have a guru, you don't even know the knowledge about it,
Right.
and all these things. So what do you have to say about this? Because you are, if I may call you so, you're a self-taught
Yes.
Sri Vidya practitioner, right? Or a multiple source Sri Vidya practitioner.
I would like to think I'm self-taught with some support when needed. And I think that is probably the right way to do it, although there is no right or wrong in the spiritual path. Simply, Praveen, for the reason that people out there are just fleecing in the name of Sri Vidya. It's like, I feel you're selling your own mother when all they're asking is big money for a diksha. And you open the internet, ask for Sri Vidya initiation, and see hundreds of dollars being poured into what is just a simple initiation, which is absolutely needless. I did an initiation for someone recently from Florida, and I don't charge. Anyone who wants an initiation, who have done the practice, who've done the Bala Mantra for 100,000 times, please connect with me. I will give you the initiation because I think I'm authorized to. Having done so much sadhana for so many years, I think Mata has authorized me. I don't need authority from anyone else.
Correct.
But please don't spend money on these people. They're mere charlatans who are claiming, certain things, and they're saying module 1 you pay $200,
Correct.
module 2 $500.
Yeah.
For what? What is it that they're giving you?
That's because I think a lot of this thing is also alluding to that these tantras were kept a secret,
Right.
long before.
It was for a reason, because another story, I'm very fond of these stories. Bhaskaracharya, who was probably one of the greatest proponents of Sri Vidya, one of the greatest sadhakas ever. He existed in the 18th century.
Okay.
And he moved to Tamil Nadu because his Sri Vidya guru was in Tamil Nadu. And he, in the south, how we have this habit of prostrating before any passing sadhu. Bhaskaracharya refused to do that. He said, he didn't say anything, but he never would prostrate before anyone. So there was an Advaita monk who made it a big hue and cry and said, he's so arrogant, he's not prostrating before anyone. So Bhaskaracharya goes to him and he says, I do it for a reason. I will explain the reason to you. Please put your kamandalu, your danda and your turban on the floor and let me prostrate before it, and we'll see what happens. And the moment he prostrates before it, all the three catch fire. So he explains that as a Sri Vidya sadhaka, I've already become one with the universal consciousness. There is no difference between me and that other sadhu. So why should I prostrate before him? In my heart, we are all the same. That is the power of Sri Vidya actually. So then you take this power and then you're trying to make money off it, which I find it really worries me a lot. And then people are falling for this kind of thing. See, anything in the spiritual realm shouldn't have a monetary value or some commercial aspect to it.
I also think, I think from multiple perspectives, is that when people start, people get these kind of siddhis, when you become like what you're saying, these are siddhis that you get, right? As you keep practicing.
Yes.
Now, what happens is when you start propagating this, when you start educating people, then you will need an organization. Then you will need the paraphernalia of...
And your ego grows
right?
hugely with it.
And I also see that when there is a guru, there will be a lot of chelas that are around.
And the ashram politics.
The chelas will keep the guru.
Right.
They want to be in the good books of the guru.
Correct.
And they create a frenzy of the guru.
Yes.
The guru may not be,
then it becomes a power play. It's all about who's seen as being closest to guru, and then he becomes like the purohit who withholds the blessings, even which God will give, but the purohit will not give. It's like that.
Correct. And the thing is, the decision making of, let's say, satsang or anything becomes the responsibility of the people around.
Yes.
The guru may not be doing anything of that sort, but the frenzy that is created by the people around creates a very different aura of the guru.
Absolutely.
Right? So
Yeah.
that is also a problem.
It's very unfortunate,
Yeah.
and I see it all the time in every ashram,
Yeah.
that the kind of gossip and the
Yeah.
kind of rivalry that's happening in an ashram, I don't see anywhere.
Yeah.
Not even among politicians. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately.
this is what we've reduced it to.
Yeah, yeah, correct. So, yeah, that's where I think probably as a civilizational consciousness, we are failing there.
Yes.
And it is, I mean, again, I'm tying back to the story of that the West is taking our concepts and reselling it back to us.
Yeah.
Because the ashrams or the organizations here are behaving like this.
Right.
Because they are behaving in a very, what do you call
Commercially motivated,
commercially
perhaps.
motivated and inaccessible.
Right.
That they say, okay, for meeting the guru, you have to, pay so much, or you have to do a lot of things and all that.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's the story, unfortunate story that's...
Also, I think, Praveen, human nature. The more of the siddhis that we start to have, the more our ego makes us feel like we have to be seen, we have to be heard.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so important for every Sri Vidya sadhaka to remember these three things. Just say, I am nothing, I have nothing, and I need nothing. Because that is the only thing that can really ground you.
Yeah.
And not allow your ego to soar, because with Sri Vidya, as you practice it more and more, life does become miraculous. There is no doubt about that.
Abundance comes to you.
It comes to you
Yeah.
in a way in which you don't even need to ask for anything. You just, the thought comes, it's almost like a little vasana or a vritti which comes up, and then it's fulfilled.
Correct.
When you reach a point where your sadhana has really become deep.
Yeah.
Now that can play havoc with your ego, because then suddenly you feel, oh, I can achieve anything.
Yeah.
Which is why you need to keep reminding yourself. I think every hour I have an alarm on my phone which reminds me, I am nothing, I have nothing, I need nothing. Because this is what is grounding me.
Yeah. It's like, I just remembered one story which I read recently, is about the King Kaushika, who will become Vishwamitra later. He goes to Vashishta's ashram, and there is Nandini, the cow, the divine cow,
yes.
which gives everything.
Right.
And he tries to capture her, because the Nandini gives everything.
Right.
But he says a very important things that she won't give you what you need in the future.
Right.
She will give you what is there right now.
Yes.
And she will fulfill that need.
Right.
It's like what you want is what she won't give you that.
Right.
What you need right now,
Correct.
she will give that.
True.
So I would like to probably put that, what you said, that the mother gives you what you need at this point in time.
Right.
And you will not even probably know it.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of times I've seen in my own life that just when you feel, and I think, I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but if you feel like your life is falling apart, just know that it's actually falling together. Because a lot of times when it appears like chaos, that's when life is actually taking shape. Just have faith.
No.
I think for everyone, whatever dark tunnel you're passing through, know that there is something very good which will come out of it.
So then when you say that you don't really need a guru, then it is also a double-edged sword, right?
See, the thing is, I wouldn't say you don't need a guru. You need a guru to be initiated into certain mantras, which you cannot do on your own. Because those things are not common knowledge. That knowledge is being held closely by some people.
Okay.
So then that knowledge, if you need, then you absolutely have to depend on someone to get that. Because without that, you cannot progress in your path. But the moment they serve that purpose, perhaps you can move on. But also the other reason why you need a guru, which my Parama Guru taught me, was that when anyone starts on a path of spirituality, it is bound to expedite your karma. So be ready for a lot of things to change, for a lot of confusion to happen in life, for a lot of changes to happen. And then you need someone to hold your hand, which an ordinary person at that time may not serve the purpose.
Yeah.
You need someone who's a little more evolved than you to hold your hand and carry you through that expedited karma.
Yeah, because what I have seen, I have also
Yes.
seen this,
Yes,
that it can have adverse effects
absolutely.
if not done properly.
Yes.
So one of the most popular gurus in India, he gives a certain mantra to people, and if they are, I mean, I'm sure he doesn't give it on his own.
Yeah.
Maybe there are his second rung of leaders who do that.
Right.
But that has created a lot of ill effects on those people. Those people have come to, I have seen them, they start seeing astral bodies, right? It is a siddhi that they gain
Right.
because of that particular mantra.
Right.
They are ordinary people. They just start seeing people and then they don't find the difference between the physical realm
Yeah.
and well as the
The subtle realm,
the
yes.
subtle realm, right? So it's a dangerous thing, and for a common person,
Right.
that person is mad, right?
Yes.
So families get into a frenzy
Right.
that what is happening to her or him. Those kind of things happen.
Right.
So I would like us to, or you to say that, like, whatever people are seeking and whatever they do, they have to find the difference between fake
Yes.
and do it in a responsible way. I would like
And
to.
also not aspire for any siddhis. Your spiritual path is so that you evolve. It's not because you want some magical powers. Just be clear about what it is that you anticipate on this journey. If you're looking at moksha, then it has to be only that. It's not about acquiring power over your neighbor or acquiring a bigger share of the property within the family. If it's any of these smaller, meaner things that you're looking for, then you're not even suited for the spiritual path. I think you have to bring in a great degree of detachment. Only then you get on this path, and then you don't really need anyone's help to move forward seeking your own evolution.
Probably if you keep that larger goal in your mind,
Right.
then things will start happening to you.
Yes.
That's what.
But I think intentions are everything. Your intentions have to be clean.
Correct, yeah.
Because if you're choosing the spiritual path simply because you want to become more attractive, you want to have more chaitanya, or you want to be this gorgeous beauty, or whatever it is.
Yeah, or you want to become rich.
Yeah, which I think most people want to. There is nothing wrong with aspiring to be rich, but spirituality is not the path for that. There are other ways to do that. But I wouldn't suggest, because number one, it's a long path. It's an arduous task. So I think it's easier to work hard, do what you're good at and make money than look at spirituality as a way to do that.
No, that I think that's the reason we find so many manifestation coaches on the internet today.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
They first of all, there are lots of coaches.
Right.
Now these are specific manifestation coaches who are there for, who claim that you can invoke a lot of material wealth and bring in a lot of material wealth into your life.
That's so unfortunate, because it's really narrowing down the scope of the law of attraction itself. The law of attraction is, like we spoke about, enrichment.
Yeah.
It's about enriching every aspect of your life, not just one, fulfilling of all your material desires. That is so wrong even as a concept.
Yeah. Misinformation that is there on the internet
Yes.
about tantric sex and Kundalini, awaken your Kundalini and stuff like that. So let's talk a little bit of what is this Kundalini as well. Is it also part of Sri Vidya, or what is it? Let's talk about that.
Kundalini is very much a part of Sri Vidya, because Kundalini deals with the chakras. The chakras are so let's talk about the 7 chakras. We have the Sthula Sharira, which is the gross body, and then you have the Sukshma Sharira, which is the subtle body, and then you have the causal body, the Karana Sharira. Now, when we talk about the Kundalini, the Shakti of Kundalini, we are talking about the center, the sheath which is the Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body.
Okay.
Right? It's the energy body. It's what surrounds us. It's not, you can't pinpoint it physically, but it's there. Now,
basically, these are energy centers.
Yes, there are 7 energy centers. So it's like you have this house where there are a lot of electrical points running all over the place. But it's at certain points where you can turn it on and off. It's exactly like, so it's these 7 chakras are those points where you can control the energy. So now the Kundalini is sitting at the base of your spine, at the Mooladhara chakra. Right? Now, when does the Kundalini enter is a question. So some people say it's at conception. Because the Kundalini, in a way, is also the prana. Right? So many other scholars say that it comes into the body, into the fetus on the 49th day after conception.
Okay.
That is also the same day when the pineal gland starts to develop.
Okay.
So it's lying there dormant at the base of the spine. And it has, if in order for us to become one with the universe, it has to traverse all the other chakras and then come out into the Sahasrara chakra, which is about 2 inches above your, the physical part of your head.
Of your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now the Kundalini needs to be awakened in order for any kind of spiritual awakening. Because until then, we are all just common mortals. It's when the Kundalini awakens. And it can happen, sometimes it's spontaneous. Like when some people become enlightened spontaneously, probably because of their previous karmas. Sometimes it can be because of practice. It's because either, you're doing intense yoga in the real sense of the word, with pranayama, yama, niyama, dharana, dhyana, all of it.
Okay.
Not just the asanas. Or it could be that a guru gives you Shakti Patha, which can suddenly arouse your Kundalini and you become enlightened. So the entire premise of Sri Vidya is that you try to awaken your Kundalini and bring it at least till the heart chakra, if not beyond.
Okay.
Because, see, in Sri Vidya, we believe that the Devi resides in your heart. Okay? So it's like there's a little cave in your heart, the Hridaya Guha, where she sits.
Okay.
So for me, in my practice, I always envisage her as sitting, in my heart. And there are a lot of times when you're feeling small, that you feel she's also, smaller. And then when you feel expansive, when you're happy and you're joyous, you can just feel her presence grow. So that's one way of doing it. Because see, the whole thing in Sri Vidya is that it's a completely internal practice. Although we have the yantra and the mantra, that is only to guide you to get her into your heart. Because initially, if I tell you that, give her a place in your heart, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So these are means to reach there.
Right. So you use the yantra as like a machine. You use the mantra to channel it. And then you invite her into your heart and you give her a place there. So now the reason why the Kundalini has to arise is that it has to come till the Anahata chakra. And then once the chakra is empowered there, then you start feeling it more. That you start, that entire thing of they talk about all these, now even this is like a very recent topic, of how the coherence of the heart and all of that. So our effort is to just bring up the energy till the heart chakra.
Okay. So those are actually the practices where you deal with your the primordial energy, which is the prana, and then you in the realm of meditation, you practice and you bring it.
Yes.
Right.
Meditation, chanting, chakra balancing itself. It's like a visualization process. Along with the process of chanting whatever mantra it is at hand, you do also the process of visualization to bring up the energy from the base to the heart.
So it doesn't happen naturally.
It does sometimes. When you're probably, like I said before, if you've done a lot of good karma and a lot of sadhana in your previous lifetimes and you're ready in this time, it could be a spontaneous
thing.
awakening.
Okay, it can
But
happen.
we are not such lucky people, so we
Right.
all have to work on
Right.
it.
And each one has to work on his or her own
Yes.
practices to make this happen.
Because Sri Vidya is all about an internal practice. You use your body as a temple.
Mm.
You worship the Devi who's sitting in your heart.
Mm.
And all the circumambulation, all the puja, all the upachara that you do, everything is for yourself, internal.
Mm. Okay. So then, whatever people on the internet say that come to a retreat where you can awaken your Kundalini, again, there's a 0.001% that it might happen, but it's like
Unlikely.
unlikely.
I would say it's unlikely.
Okay.
If you think it's happening, it's your imagination. Because if it was so simple,
Yeah.
a lot of people would have had their Kundalini awakened.
Right. Right.
I am yet to see many people with Kundalini awakened.
Correct. So, and also I see a lot of reels and videos that do a lot of actions like this, and they use their fingers and hands to give a action that somebody's they work it on other people,
Yeah.
and they say that your kundali is being raised. So now I think that's all fake.
See, chakras balancing.
Mm.
Okay, and bringing the chakras into a state of equanimity, that someone can still do on you.
Okay, somebody else can
It's
do.
possible. Yeah, I personally also do chakra balancing,
Okay.
but very judiciously, only when I feel that it's absolutely mandated. It's a matter of really helping someone with their PTSD or with some deep-rooted kind of stuff. Otherwise, I don't venture to do it because it takes too much of my energy. But when I feel that someone really needs it because they're not able to move ahead in life, I would be able to do some chakra work for them.
Okay. So that is possible.
That is possible.
Okay.
And
Not
we
not
get
the-
very good results with it. I have personally done a lot of healing work and seen a lot of positive developments after that.
Okay. So that is chakra balancing, not
Yes.
really awakening.
It's not
the
about Kundalini. No.
Kundalini, right?
No.
Yeah.
It's only chakras. It's because it's certain traumatic episodes in your life, they leave a lot of residue at a muscular level, translates into like on the subtle body.
Mhm.
So it's like a memory in the subtle body at a certain chakra.
Mhm.
So largely people have a lot of stuff in their heart chakra, the Anahata chakra.
Okay.
So blockages because relationships going sour or things not going as they plan, anger, all these things. So a lot of healing can happen with the Anahata chakra as well. And the
Okay.
second, in my practice, I find that Vishuddha chakra in modern times, because we've become very bad at communicating. And all anger arises from lack of communication. Either that the person is not comprehending what you're saying, or you're not conveying rightly to that person what you want to say, and that leads to unresolved issues. So what happens is you have that kind of has a cascading effect on every other aspect of your life. So the Mooladhara and all the three lower chakras are still okay because they may only cause you might not have like good digestion or metabolism, or you may have fertility issues and all of that, the three lower chakras, but the higher chakras need a lot of work.
Okay.
Especially in modern times, because we live in very complex situations. Our lives are not simple anymore.
Yeah. So, as a writer, you have already written 5 books. Now you are also saying, you also said that you are writing your 6th book,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
What is that 6th book about?
It's about the esoteric meaning of the Lalita Sahasranama.
Okay.
I have become so utterly fascinated by the Lalita Sahasranama. There are 1,000 names of the goddess, and each name has a philosophy all of its own. You pick any name, and there is a story. There is an entire, like a chapter which can be written about every single word in the Lalita Sahasranama. And also, what many people don't know is that you can do something called a Samputi-karana, which
Okay.
is one way of chanting the Lalita Sahasranama. So I've seen this in my practice again, that someone comes to me with like unbelievable kind of knee pain and which is not getting resolved, and I tell them do this Samputi Karana using certain lines which talk about Mata's knees in the Lalita Sahasranama. So there are some lines which talk about Janu, which is the knee, and sure enough they find respite from that
Okay.
pain.
So it is a healing mantra.
It is a healing mantra. It's a mantra for abundance. It is like the panacea for everything. Whatever it is that causes you difficulties, brings obstacles, this mantra can help you resolve it.
And you will have to, I mean, whatever mantra that comes to you, or you come to chant,
Yeah.
I'm sure you will have a message to people who are chanting, that chant it with utmost reverence, and not just by just chanting, just physically chanting it.
Even just physically chanting it has its own benefits.
Okay.
Because you're purifying the surroundings around you. If you look in South India, we are very blessed because every house,
Okay.
someone is chanting Vishnu Sahasranama and Lalita Sahasranama.
Yeah.
If not every day, at least on a Friday evening, everyone is chanting Lalita Sahasranama. We don't know it. We don't know the benefit that accrues from it. Because then you go up north and you see the quality of life there as opposed to how we live. Then it hits you that something is different. How is it that we are far more peaceful? Our family life is so much more relaxed. It's because there is something that we are doing that they are not doing. And I would put it down to this little spiritual practice
Practices
that we
that are
have.
there. Yeah. I would also, again, a lot of invasions happened there in the north, and
Right.
many of these practices and culture and all
Right.
this just was washed away
Right.
because of that. And many generations, right?
Yes.
6 or 7 generations, not 6 or 25 generations have lost it.
Right.
So I think that is the effect of all these invasions and the colonialism that happened and all that stuff.
Possibly. Yes.
Right? But most of it was retained in the south in many ways.
They protected us
Correct.
from it. So for that, we owe them thanks.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think in return, what we are doing, see, with spirituality, the one thing is one person in 10 is meditating. And this has actually been proven by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's studies in Netherlands, that just a small percentage doing meditation helps the entire community.
Yeah.
You'll see that the number of robberies, criminalities around the place reduces. People outside of the realm of who are practicing are also more peaceful.
Right.
So our practice again is not only about ourselves. So even though it's important to be selfish in our spiritual practice, because it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of devotion, but in our selfishness we are also helping society.
Right. I think that could be our parting shot for this podcast, that like you said, that if you start on a spiritual journey and start meditating, you're not just helping yourself,
Right.
but as a society, as a community,
Right.
and then when you go larger as a nation, right, as a civilization, you are protecting this
True.
itself. And I think because of that is what our civilization is still an oldest living civilization.
Right.
Right. Although we had so much of invasion, so much of trauma that happened,
Right.
we are still holding on to it.
Right.
I think it's because of those individuals or groups
Right.
that have practiced, right?
Yes. What has survived?
Right. Do you have any parting shot like that?
Nothing at all, except wishing all our listeners Shri Matre Namaha, and wishing everyone an abundance of all things enriching.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Sri Matre Namah. Thank
Shri
you.
Matre Namaha.